some questions here about how did this get under the radar screen that no one noticed. I think perhaps it's not so much for the panelists to answer, but perhaps I will offer my observation of Sacramento over 20-some years. Is that when no one's watching, anything will pass under the radar. So the fault is actually among our own community that we have not been watching for bills that affect our well-being. Whether you're for or against it, if you feel strongly for or against something, you need to keep watch. And no one, of course, can keep an eye on all the zillions of bills that go through Sacramento and where they are in the Assembly, where they are in the Senate, what committee they're going through, who are the committee chairs. And that is the job of usually a professional lobbyist or your elected representative. Now, Mr. Lay already noticed that there are two previous bills that have passed, both the Senate and the Assembly, without a whisper that no one knew about. So this time it's just passed through because no one thought twice about it. It's passed twice, so what is the big deal with the third time, right? But this time apparently has generated some interest, and through the power of the internet, probably more than anything else, people up in arms in no time in very large numbers. And this would not have happened 20 years ago. It would have taken a few weeks to get so many people to learn about this issue. On the other hand, the power of the internet has a negative side, and that is rumors fly everywhere. Don't believe what people tell you on the internet. Don't believe all this. You sign 1,000 times and call phone will vote no. No politician will ever do that, ever. And he is not going to come here and listen to you right here to attack him and to badger him. So don't believe in those things. Use some common sense, please. And the only real information you're going to get out of is Ed Hernandez's office. And he is the guy who's going to be announcing this, not May Huff, as somebody has said on the internet as well. So just use your common sense. And Papa has hired a lobbyist in Sacramento to be watching those kind of bills, and specifically for the progress of this bill. We're happy to share that information with any group who wants to get informed when they go to committees, and when they go to committees, and what the vote is out of the committee, who voted for and who voted against, and when is it likely to come to the Assembly floor. Sometimes these things can happen in a hurry. Political maneuvering, as Senator Huff knows, and I think all of our panelists know, they can push things through under the table. They push things through very quickly. Before you notice, it's gone, it's passed. Okay, well, you do get a vote in November if this does pass through. So anyway, that's sort of my guess. This is not that so much the Chinese American senators want to go against the will of the community, but they have not heard from nobody. This passed twice and no one has said anything. But now they've noticed, and they have issued a statement that they will not support this bill as is if it comes back to the Senate. But just remember, if there are nuances in language, as is means as is. Amended in some way, material or not, might mean different changes in position. So everybody read carefully. Politics is an art. Very difficult to maneuver, and don't be fooled by people. Either party, anybody, any senator, any assembly person, always think about in this current form, under certain criteria, they're not real promises. And promises are broken all the time, as you know as well. Anyway, so that's sort of my explanation. We'd like to recognize a couple other candidates who have arrived. Mr. David Ehrlich is a candidate for mayor of Oakland. Who's with us? Where is he? Oh, over here. Oh, hello. Hi, sorry. Oh, so it's Assembly for 17th District Assembly.
18th District Assembly.
I'm sorry, 18th. Mr. Greg Ward, mayor candidate for Oakland. Thank you. Thank you for coming and taking time to listen to our community. Now I'm going to venture into something else that has come across my eyes a few times here as well, and this is another touchy issue, race relations. What does this bill mean to race relations in California? Is this going to pit Asian American against Hispanic or Black? And if that does happen, I can tell you right now, we lose. How do we do this? How do we reach out and talk to other groups and negotiate or make each other understand each other's position, it's okay to agree to disagree. It is not okay to attack people from the back. So let's have, I think, Henry, you're probably the expert on race relations here. Would you mind to comment?
Well, I don't know if I'm an expert. I am very concerned about the tone and tenor of this debate. Again, I want to state very clearly, I understand why people would oppose SCA 5 if they believe that this is a quota bill for Latinos or blacks. Or quota bill against Asians. Come on. Because that's why. Because that's why are Chinese community members so irate about this bill? Because they feel, as Mr. Lehrer has said, he himself said it, that if SCA passes, you're going to see a decline in Asians. Admissions to UC. Well, if I'm a parent with a kid going possibly to UC, I would be upset that it's a quota against my kid. And that's why many of you signed petitions. And you have come here. Now, I think that race relationships is in a very precarious way because of how the opponents have characterized this bill. There are problems with this bill in its current form. And I think all of us should express our concerns to the author so that it can be changed and that the true intent of this bill can come forward again. And I fear that when people talk about parity or quotas, it will affect race relationships among blacks, Latinos, and Chinese and other Asians. And we should not allow that. It's really important that we understand what is it that we want out of the UCs, the kind of standard that they should maintain, and CSU for that matter. What resources do they need to maintain a viable institution? That's what, at the end of the day,